Welcome, everybody. Cue in the startup music. Just imagine yourself some, I don't know, royalty free music. Do-do-ding, do-do-ding. Hey, welcome, to Skybomb. Second Life Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Lugo. So I had to go back and review what we were talking about last time. It's been that long. I also I tried to edit this, but it didn't even work out for me. So they are staying on it in live. Maybe this could be a thing. So, last time I was talking about working for a flight school that came from Venezuela, and I was going to maybe touch on some of the. I've only had one independent client. Gentleman came to me, he owned the R44 at the time. And believe it or not, nobody wanted to work with this guy. I guess he had done some things in his younger years, and he had set up a few flags, and so nobody wanted to work with him. He had, oh goodness, between 150 close to 200 hours when I got him, but his flying was fine. So he owned a R44 Raven 2, which will come and play later on. But he flew fine. I didn't see anything overly crazy with him. But when I ran through the examiner that I usually use, he wouldn't. He didn't want to. He didn't want to do the check run. So, and I was like, why? So weirdly enough, um, I uh, I went and did the research. I did everything that they were asking. Pretty much just made sure. And this is case in point. If you are in this situation, you you got two options, right? You can either choose not to work with a person, or you can choose to do some investigating, which is what I chose to do. And after doing my due diligence and talking to the person and reaching out to the FISTO, their local FISTO, making sure that he was not under investigation or any of that stuff, I felt comfortable enough to work with him. And came check ride time, and he was able to get his check ride done. He did his private with me. We started working on the commercial, things just didn't line up. He did his commercial and CFI elsewhere, but now I see he's rocking and rolling, doing his own thing. So, and that's good. I'm glad that we were able to get him going in that situation. So, what do we got next in the world of what this podcast is? Okay, so after working with the flight school, um, there was a period where I wasn't really flying. Um, I had to actually kind of fight for my medical, which that could be another extended episode. But long and short of it, it took me 6 months to get my medical back, so I wasn't able to fly until uh I want to say like late June. I couldn't take any initials. So maybe aside from I think I ended up getting a Huey ride in between all that. One of the guys, I was training his dad on a Huey. We were doing ground training, and we ended up in the Huey. I think I might have. Everybody wants to see the. Because if it's not in the pictures, it didn't happen. Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. This is, believe it or not, these fill up a lot of dead space, but you know, if it does take a while, just you can always skip. No, I won't get offended if you skip. But let's see where we're at here. Hmm, where are the pictures? I gotta say, so when I was sitting on the Huey, the first we went to eat somewhere in like near Mims, and it took a while to get there. I was sitting in the back, um, in the third row of the Huey, and then on the way back, he let me fly up front. So, but anyhow, um, it's really loud sitting back there. Um, just in case anybody was wondering, yeah, it's very very loud sitting in the back there. Where is man? I know I'm getting close. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. Where are you? Where are you? Coming, coming, coming. Mm, get some. Ooh, so close, so close, so close. So close. Where are you? Yep. All right. If you can see that, there I am on that third row, sitting back there, and that's when I got to sit up front. So close to posting that. See, I got my fiance watching. She's my only viewer for now. Look, there's me. There is me. So yeah, I flew that, and then I got my medical back, late June 2025. But I would think that there would be all the jobs lined up. No, there wasn't. There was a lot of waiting, and I wouldn't do anything until I want to say it was like late November. Could have been October, could have been November. Um, Let me see. Let's go in here because I know that. Let's see. Gotta go the other way with this. I can tell the date of this picture. I'll be able to tell you when it was I got my second shot there. I actually went back to tours for a blurb, I guess it was. Mm, let's see. Going. The other way, gotta go back the other way around. So, oh yeah, so sometime in between that, that's when I started working on that one person I was mentioning, their commercial, and then just stuff just didn't line up. Ooh, I got like four people. Nobody must be people not having a lot to do. So let's see, when would that have been? I think I'm going back here. Yeah. Am I going back? No, I'm going up. Started working with Florida Aviation Network, doing some airplane flying. So let's see, what are the details on this? Details, it says October. So yeah, October, uh, it says October 11th. I went over there. It was actually one of the guys I worked at the Venezuelan place. He was the second instructor, Nicola, and he was working at this place all the way down in Fort Pierce with man, I can't even remember the guy's name. I barely work with him. He's a Colombian guy. Um, but so he was working with him. He needed to go on vacation, and then the long and short of it was I was gonna fill in with him for him. Then somewhere along the line, it was this weird thing where the guy just he's like, "Oh, I know Nicolas leaving, blah blah blah," and it just became really weird. But anyways, long and short of it was he was gonna hire me, then he was gonna hire me, and at the end, I think he ended up just running the thing for him twice. He was barely gonna pay me. Um, like he was offering like 35 bucks an hour, and I would have had to drive over 2 hours. I'm like, that's just not a livable wage, unfortunately. So I worked with them twice. I think I made 200 bucks out of the whole deal. But I got to get current on the R44, which I should have had Nicola sign me a flight review, but I didn't. Um, Retrospect of that, and but anyways, I'll move into that next. The next thing I did was I worked. So usually these things kind of slow down. So around Christmas there wasn't much going on, and then sometime around January, I got on with my current client. Started talking about he started talking about buying the Cabri that he has, and we started kind of working that out. And yeah, so anyhow, um, and now I got another client down in South Florida. I'm waiting for UV, and then I walked into this place in Citrus, but boy, were they playing some games, right? And so here's what we're gonna talk about, right? So here, just picture in December, I started talking to Hans, who was serious, and then I started talking to these other people who were just total BS show. I'm not gonna put their name out, but if you do some deducing, one of the persons is got a very bad reputation. I guess he swindled some people out of money. So great thing that I was able to kind of walk away from that. But they wasted my time since December. I thought I was gonna get that ferry too. I didn't. Instead, I got to meet the oldest army pilot I've ever met in my life that I think, as far as I know it, he's probably stuck back in 1975 or whatever. Um, and you know, it, at the end of the day, it was 2 hour drive for me to get back to my house, and just a bunch of hogwash. So next out of that, um, I was in the process with. In between that, I started the process with a power company down in Puerto Rico. Uh, right. You are the number one fan. Let's see. What a pin. How to get a pin message. There you go. We're pinning the message. So I was in process since April. I just ran the numbers. And so I got to interview two. and I had a really good feeling. For a minute there, I thought I was gonna be going down to Puerto Rico, but just the stars in the line. But hey, it was a good experience. You know, I got to learn a lot, and so um, sometimes things are just not quite there, but you're on the right track. So um, it just in my mind, I was like, how do I get into, how do I go from an entry level job, which flight instruction tours is an entry level job, to a tier 3 job. That was just I couldn't comprehend that. But I guess the answer is you don't. Um, but anyhow, but yeah, here we are. Got my two little cabaret clients. I'm hoping to start working with number two here soon. Gotta get this. Gotta get this insurance, side insurance thing worked out. But pretty much that's the long short of it. At some point, if it slows down enough, I might have to go back into my instrument flying too. But it's really hot, so it kind of shies people away from training. Either you got to start really early or wait until it gets later to do some later flying. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at with all that. So um, I guess there's no more questions except for Miss Monica typing in, showing support. She's always showing me all the all the support in the world. So um, always glad for that. So anyhow, um, what do we got? I'm hoping to go to the cavalry training sometime in September. Um, oh, I love you. See, this is the only time it's appropriate for a fan to write me "I love you" because it's my fiance. So there we go. Pin, pin the message. So anyhow, so hopefully the cavalry training, I get to go up there and train, do the factory training. That'd be really awesome. And I hope to take on more clients. We're doing the seminar in Microsoft Teams, the FAA safety seminar. That's coming up on May 23rd. So um, hopefully, if you have a FAA safety account, you can look it up. Oh, show the merch. It's over here, right there. See that that all could be yours. Got Miss Monica heavily involved in the merch development. And so May 23rd, we got carburetor icing and helicopters. We got Richard Mornington Sanford is going to be joining us all the way from Malaysia. He's going to be talking about uh, carburetor icing. And then got John LeDrew and Michael Triana are going to be helping me out. So pretty much that is the most of it there. Let's see, what else could we discuss here? May 10th, episode 2, cruise. I got all this thing all filled out. My This is my initial logbook. Most of it got filled up at the adventure pad, which I'm releasing something here. Um, in a couple of days. Look out for the shorts. you're gonna be able to see something different that if HA was there, you wouldn't be able to see. So in a couple of days, May 13th, it's just a quick little short that's gonna come out. You're gonna love it. So mm, that pretty much covers it all. Like to go back, I mean, talk to us about how you prepared for your interview. Oh, how I prepared for my interview. So I did both a lot of YouTube research and also talked to people that work at the place, and I think, like I said, I thought the interview went really well. If I had to guess why I wasn't picked, it was because I didn't have any long lining experience or turbine experience. So um, I'm gonna be looking into definitely pushing to getting to some turbine machines. There's this one guy. He just moved down here, and I guess he's doing a ferry flight from Florida to Oregon, and I'm really trying to get on that 206 that he owns. So hopefully, I'm able to convince him to let me fly with him. And then I did some role play with my fiance Monica too. So a lot of the questions that came up, she had asked me on the role play. So it was interesting, almost like she's taken one of the or two of these interviews before. So yeah, um, very interesting thing. We had to go back. We had the 300. I released the whole S300 series. Neil Thomason has a flyable 300 that he's trying to sell. So if anybody's interested, I can get you in touch with Neil, and he can sell that. And I have a whole hour on the Schweitzer 300. So, but I'd be willing to get in it and figure it out. Why not? So anyhow, I think something came out about the something with gimbal. They just put something out. So if you fly gimbal, make sure you're checking your SBs and ADs. Let me see. I'll read you. I don't want to say the wrong thing, but emergency service bulletin AD, main rotor mass inspection says, dear carburetor operator, um, following has been released SP 26-009 Alpha main rotor mass inspection. AC had a report occurrence of a crack in a main rotor mass detected through a significant increase in helicopter vibration. The mandatory service bulletin specifies a initial inspection main rotor mass to detect crack and corrosion pitting. This is applicable to all Cabri G2s at detailed below. And then it talks about certain different groups. So if you are a Cabri owner or know a Cabri owner, definitely have them go back and check their the recent SB as I listed there. So that is the latest thing that came out. All right, y'all. I think I'm gonna wrap this one up, Cruise. Be sure to comment to see more of these content, or if there's something that you want to watch the next time, if you want to have these podcasts on more of a schedule or what have you. be sure to let me know. And then here comes my shameless plug, right there. Doesn't require much, but it helps. It sure helps. Let's see. Ooh, hopefully that focuses. If not, how about this one right there? You scan that, $1, $2 per video. Any other videos that you watch, if you donate, it will make things so much better. So much better. Anyhow, I can make your name public. I can keep it out of this either way. Also looking for commercial sponsors, from the Longwood area, from the Florida area. Who cares? Um, my socials are on there. Just comment, communicate. I can throw your advertising on here. I love to do that. Everybody does it, so why should I do it? So, anyways, this has been Jay Lugo for Skybomb, the episode uh, 2 cruise. Signing out. We'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye.